Hey, everybody, it's Greg. Welcome to the Art of Relationship show. There's been a lively discussion big time this week on, what happens if romance isn't a part of your relationship or your marriage, and if your partner is not romantic, okay? And going to be talking about this, what to do about it, or, or is it just your partner is not romantic with you? So pay attention, going to be back in just a minute for the Art of Relationships show. Everybody, pay attention.
Welcome to the Art of Relationships show. Greg is Detroit's love guru, a licensed professional counselor, a relationship and sex specialist. The Art of Relationships show will cover crucial elements in rebuilding the trust, emotional, and physical intimacy in your life. No more tit-for-tat arguments. Greg gets to the root of your challenges in a rapid, matter-of-fact format, plus applies compassion and humor. Join in discovering how to improve your romantic relationship and your own life. Yes, Greg also helps the single people out there. So listen, laugh, and climax. Greg is a licensed professional counselor, though to many, he's known as Detroit's love guru. The Art of Relationship show is copyrighted. No use of the show in part or full is permitted without expressed written consent. The Art of Relationship show is for mature audiences. Parental advisory is highly advised.
Back to the Art of Relationship show, talking about, romance and how important it is to your relationship or marriage. You know what? Everybody is different. Everybody assumes all women, let's face it, they assume all women are romantic. They're not. Okay. I don't like all the fluff and flowers, Greg. No, not at all. Most women are romantic and they try to teach their guys that, even though, there's some guys that are great at romance, great at being romantic. Number one, you need to define, right? What the heck romance is to you. What is romantic gestures? Sometimes it's, rose petals on the bed, rose petal, pathway to the bed, that type of aspect. Sometimes it's, little love notes, I love you, spank you later, whatever that is. You look beautiful. All these aspects, writing a poem, writing a love letter, those type of avenues, you need to define, like I said, number one, what is romance or being romantic to each one of you. If you're not on the same page, you need to become close to being on the same page, right? Because if you're wasting your time trying to be romantic in all this aspect and your partner is not receiving it as such, you're wasting your time. I'm being honest. The efforts need to be applauded, absolutely, but you're wasting your time. So you want to do what works for you, okay? Number two is, where is the emotional shape of your relationship, if you will, or your emotional grade in your relationship? Is that what is causing your partner or yourself not to be romantic? There's not that connection. So, hell, why am I not being romantic to you? Why are you not being romantic to me? Is something missing? Is there discord? Is there a lot of arguing? A lot of, tit for tat back and forth? You don't talk. There's not depth to the relationship. And that is why your partner or yourself is not being romantic. Again, this is not a right or wrong. It's trying to be a little bit of investigative work, okay? That type of aspect. So you need to look at those elements. Why is my partner not being romantic to me? Is it because your relationship is lacking? Is it because you're not talking anymore? Or a lot of people, we're not talking anymore. We're not connecting anymore because he or she is not romantic, Greg. It's that dog chasing its tail or that circle type of thing, the chicken or the egg situation, right? Or is, you're so busy, let's face it, kids. And now a lot of people are going with the pandemic aspects, right? Where kids are doing school at home and they are doing, virtual learning and virtual school, and you're trying to be on top of everything and you can't. So you're burned out. You're working, trying to take care of the kids, homeschooling, all this aspect going on, right? Everyone blames it on 2020. I get it. It's not easy. So you look at it as just your energy level zapped for being romantic to each other. And it takes little bit of pieces to be romantic. A little sticky note on the bathroom mirror. You're beautiful. You're sexy. I love you. A simple touch on the back. Little things. And of course, you can go up to extravagant, aspects like being romantic on a trip. Everyone, buying jewelry, those type of aspects. Again, whatever works for you. A midnight rendezvous, whatever, on the beach making love, that type of stuff. Or, well, I ain't making love on the beach, Greg. He's not romantic. Okay, I get it. That type of thing. Or maybe he would be more romantic if you made love on the beach, right? We could go back and forth all these aspects. And a lot of people look at, romance and being romantic as a right or wrong. They look at it as a typical black and white issue that it's either there or it's not there. My question is, what does it look like I said, and what are the reasons why it's not there? Okay. A lot of times it's emotional disconnect from each other, right? You're not feeling respected. You're not feeling loved. You're not feeling desired. And all these, of course, play into the part of being romantic with one another. Okay. Now, my post that I did down below on Facebook, I know people watching this on YouTube aren't going to be able to see it unless you go to my Facebook page, Greg Dudzinski, or Detroit's Love Guru on Facebook. So, check it in, subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, like, I appreciate it very much. Okay. So now the third aspect of, the romance lacking in the relationship is, what if your partner is not just romantic? Okay. A lot of women, I was just talking to somebody before I went live about, women look at potential in men. Let's face it. You know what? Women, for the most part, they say they don't, but do they want to change men, right? Oh, he has potential to be romantic. He has potential to be dressed this way. He has potential to be this great provider and all this stuff, and they don't. So looking at this, was your partner romantic from the jump, from the beginning of the relationship? Okay. Now, if that person was romantic, man or woman, it doesn't matter. What changed about it? Did it go out the window? And now we're going back to number 2, right? What happened to it? Disconnect in a relationship, feeling taken advantage of, not feeling appreciated. So they're like, screw it. I'm not going to show you I love you because of the resentment and the hurt now. Or, you know what? Is that happening? Was that person just never romantic and could care less about being romantic? Now we're left being with, what do you do in those situations? Or is that person just not romantic with you? And that is something, it can sting, it can hurt. And that usually tells me if that person is not romantic with you anymore, there's a huge disconnect, that the connection is not fully there. You might love one another, but the depth is missing. The overall connection. Maybe you're not laughing and playful as much one another. Maybe you're not able to talk about anything like you used to before. So I look at, you know what? They're romantic. They just choose not to be romantic with you. And what can we do to kick that up? It sounds easy. It sounds, let's face it, it sounds like it's something easy to do, but sometimes they're not. And what happens if your partner chooses not to be romantic with you? Okay. So now what do you do? Where are you left with that scenario? Let's face it. Are you okay with that partner not being romantic because everything else is good? Or are you able to look at the situation to where, you know what, romance is important to me, Greg. And if he's not, with me, I want to leave and find someone else that's going to be that way with me. Look at yourself. Look at, what am I doing to cause my partner, my person, not to be romantic with me? Is it something I'm doing? Are they working too much? Are they exhausted, tired, dealing with a lot of stress, a loved one being sick? All these aspects, these are maybe reasons, but that still is not an excuse for that person to take a few minutes. Like I said, it can be simple gestures to be romantic with your partner as I trip over my tongue? Romantic instead of romantic, right? What does it take for your partner to be more engaging with you, to be more maybe flirtatious? That would be a way of being, romantic too, being flirty, joking around, and of course, being sensual and being complimentary, right? That you put compliments out there, you give affirmations out there. You know what? I love the way you walk. I love the way you stand, man. It's so sexy. The way you carry yourself. There's a lot of ways you can go about being flirty and being romantic and being sensual to kick up the romance aspect. But going back to my original question was, what happens if your partner does not want to be romantic with you? What do you do about it? Okay. Number one, we're going to go back and look at, was my partner, ever romantic at all, or maybe wasn't that much. Okay. And we just hope they would be one day and it never happened. Number two, are there huge disconnects getting in the way of that partner from being romantic anymore? Do they feel loved? Do they feel cherished? Do they feel energized by you and by the relationship? Let's face it, we all want to get something out of a relationship, and it's not being selfish, it's being human. Okay. We want to feel loved. We want to feel desired. We want to feel appreciated. And if those things don't happen in the way that works for us, we're going to shut down and we're going to distance ourselves. I wish it didn't happen. It's just one of those things. Let's face it, it's going to happen. One person could keep trying and trying and trying, and then it gets to a point, why am I even bothering anymore? Why am I asking that person to be this way, that way, romantic? Apparently, they either don't care or it's not them. Now we're left with that decision, the heartbreaking decision. I love romance, and my partner will not be romantic with me. Now the question is that enough to end the relationship or the marriage? Okay, let's be real. Again, everybody looks at a right and wrong. It's selfish. It's self-centered, egotistical. No, you need to be able to look at and get away from right or wrong and look at, it's just, maybe it's different, that you want to have a relationship that's different than the way it is now. And number one, is it possible? Number two, do you still have hope left? Or number three, do you even want that from that person anymore? I do not decide that, nor should your friends, nor should your family member, nor should relatives, anybody else decide that. A therapist should never, ever decide that for you. Okay. You need to decide that for yourself. And a good counselor, good therapist, you know what? They can help you come to that decision, but it's not theirs. That's very biased. That's very judgmental. They need to help you in finding what your gut is telling you. Okay. So that question is going back to, if your partner is not romantic, does not choose to be romantic with you, is that okay for you? Is that going to be a good enough relationship or create a good enough connection that you can be, happy, sincere, that you still feel loved and desired and connected? Okay. And a lot of people, oh, I'm romantic, Greg. I grab her in the butt, grab her in the boobs all the time. I'm like, what? If you're playing around, maybe she likes that. What if she doesn't? Ask her. Have you ever asked her if that is romantic? If you just grab her in the booty or grab her in the front or grab her in the boobs, oh yeah, I'm being romantic, man. I touch her all the time. Are you groping her or molesting her, or are you being romantic? You get me? And romantic can be encompassing the mental aspects, the emotional aspects, and of course, the physical aspects. And what do those look like for you? And looking at, are you happy with the relationship or marriage if there's not that much romance into it? Okay. Most women, not all, are going to say, hell no, right? I want romance. I want to, have that feeling that my man or my partner desires me, even in same-sex relationships. What romance looks like for you. And I want romance. I want to be, this way, that way, treated this way. No, they desire me and they think about me, take me into consideration. All these things can be romantic tendencies that can help for you. And if romance dies in a relationship, chances are communication is going to die, right? Sex is going to go down the toilet. But you look at what is causing that romantic tendencies or the romance in your relationship to go sideways, meaning that it's not there any longer. Okay. Is it that you're partner or you two just aren't in love anymore. You like each other, you love each other, but the in love feeling, the chemistry, has that gone out the window type of aspect? Or you realize maybe compatibility, that the way you want to live is so different that you feel like, what's the use? I'm settling anyways. So why am I going to be romantic? And yes, I'm huge on romance. I'm huge on being able to promote connection emotionally, soulfully, physically, of course. And romance is a huge way of doing it for both people. Okay. And are you also waiting for your partner to be romantic with you? Or are you also trying to be romantic with your partner? Do you always leave that duty, that job, if you will, up to your partner because he's the man or she's the woman? Women are into that stuff, Greg. I'm the man. No. What are you? Step back away from that and look at and ask yourself, am I waiting for my partner to do all that work? Or am I also making that effort? So these are a lot of things to be able to go over and ask each other and ask yourself, you know what? I don't want to be romantic with my partner because I just don't feel it. Okay, what can be done to jazz that up a little bit if possible? And if you're not that way, are you okay being not romantic, not connected on that level? And is your partner okay with that? Again, no one should answer this question for you except for you and your partner. Let's face it, not a therapist, counselor, not a friend, not a relative. No, they can tell you what they would do for themselves, but it's not their life, it's your life. But these are things to ask and to go after to kick up the romance in a little bit. And if it is not there and you feel like it'll never be there, is that still going to be a good enough relationship or marriage for you? Again, this is your decision, not culture based, not societal based, not friendship, relative based. No, it's, very easy to get trapped in all those aspects. But people, I always promote, it's your life, okay, and how you want to live it. Nothing is perfect, but how you want to live your life and what romance looks like, and can you live without it? Now, something to think about, okay? Again, check out my YouTube page, please, The Art of Relationships with Greg Dudzinski. Like, subscribe on YouTube, please. Check out me on Instagram, Detroit's Love Guru, Twitter's Detroit Love Guru, and of course here on Facebook. I appreciate all the support, all the love I get. Peace and love to everybody out there. My website, as always, is theartofrelationships.org. Check it out, and you can catch the show live every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern, right here on Facebook and YouTube. Oh, real quick, and you can check just the audio version out. It's on every music podcast format, Google Podcasts, Google Music, Amazon Music, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, TuneIn, all over the place, okay? If you prefer the audio-only versions, okay? Again, peace and love to everybody out there. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your hump day.